Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So things are not looking too great for Harry. He's had his second day in court, and Tom Bower actually revealed yesterday that, he's a lawyer himself. He said there's no way the Mirror Group newspapers would have entered into a legal battle with Harry unless they were sure they were going to win. It kind of feels like Harry has been led into this court case very naively, not knowing what he's letting himself in for. And probably, with a bit of arrogance there, thinking that he can do an Oprah, he can do a Netflix when it comes to the British court system. And he's learning the hard way that that's not the case. And obviously, when it comes to lawyers, they want to make money. So they're going to encourage you to enter into the case too. So he doesn't seem to have, made a very wise decision. And apparently he did it to protect Meghan. That's what came out in court today, that the reason for the whole case was to protect Meghan and her privacy. And who knows, maybe she put him up to it. So, and also yesterday in my video, I said, why didn't King Charles, Prince Charles at the time, and, the rest of the royal family behind the scenes reassure Harry about the whole paternity, regarding James Hewitt? And of course, more than likely they did. He claimed that he didn't realise until 2014 that his mother met James Hewitt after he was born. Again, very hard to believe considering in 2014 he was a grown man. So how did you not know? Did no one in your family reassure you and tell you that a lot sooner? Find it hard to believe that they didn't. And another thing that was mentioned, this was a Tom Bower interview I watched, very interesting. Apparently Harry mentioned Chelsea, a lot. I can't remember the exact number.
As ever with Harry, there's a lot of personal oversharing. One thing that struck a lot of people today, though, is that he actually got emotional in court when speaking about his ex-girlfriend, Chelsea Davy. Now, she was mentioned in his witness statement 118 times. His wife, Meghan, was mentioned just 5 times. He does seem to be talking about Chelsea a lot at the moment. Do you find that odd, or does he feel that she's the one who got away?
Well, she was the one who got away, there's no doubt. She was much better, probably much more fitting for him than Meghan, because she was an English girl, from South Africa and all the rest of it, and it clearly was a passion of youth.
He was told, by the barrister that your case is very speculative. That's basically what has come out now so far, that everything is speculative. And apparently he said that he doesn't know 18 times. And it wasn't a good cross-examination. He was crushed today in court, according to GB News. So let's take a look. Prince Harry broke down after admitting, I don't know, 18 times during a bruising grilling in the High Court today. The Duke of Sussex testified as part of his phone hacking case against Mirror Group newspapers. However, the royal seemed unsure throughout his appearance. Prince Harry also replied, I don't remember, 9 times in the High Court. That does not sound good at all. Sounds like he's making quite a fool of himself in court, to be honest. The Duke called on Andrew Green, representing MGN, to ask his legal team instead of him 4 times during the morning's session. Wow. He can't handle it. He can't hack the cross-examination. You know why? Because in court, you can't just fob them off and give them a load of nonsense. I mean, one of the depositions says that his phone was hacked in 1996. Turns out he never had a mobile phone in 1996. And from what I remember, mobile phones didn't really become widespread until the early 2000s. I know the Nokias came out in the early 2000s. And before that, it was those big brick Motorola type phones, like a car phone. That was the only type of mobile phone I remember, in the mid 90s.
Look at this, executive mobile phone, right? I can let you have this for what I paid, 40 nicker.
Yeah, nice looking model.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is, it's top of the range.
So again, a lot of his lies are unraveling. And I don't think he's going to be able to do a Meghan and say, oh, maybe I misremembered and I apologise to the court. No. This all has to be answered to under cross-examination. He's going to have to answer to his claims, his assertions, and apparently he's just playing the I don't remember card. Harry also told Green, I'll take your word for it several times during the grilling. And we know that, Andrew Green, he's a formidable barrister, and I'm sure he's not going easy on Harry. When asked whether he had any call data to back up his claims of phone hacking, Prince Harry said, "I wouldn't know. My legal team would know that." Wow. And when asked, "Do you claim you were consistently hacked by NGN between 1996 and 2010, the royal said, "Consistently? I wouldn't know." This case seems like a complete waste of time. You can't even stand by the claims that you have made, the whole reason for starting this lawsuit in the first place. The Duke of Sussex appeared to choke back tears after being asked how he had found the experience of giving evidence in the witness box by his barrister, David Sherborne. Wow. Prince Harry paused as he grew emotional before saying, "It's been a lot." Yeah, because this is court, Harry. This isn't a game. This isn't a game. This is court. What did you think this was going to be? You've waged war on the British press. And in his witness statement, he dissed the British government and the whole press, saying that they're in the gutter or something to that effect. And I just don't understand what he was expecting. Please help me understand. Did he think they were just going to appease him and bow to him and just take his word for it? Prince Harry also admitted today that he decided to pursue legal cases against tabloid newspapers after a chance meeting in France. The royal was grilled on when he first sought advice about a possible claim against MGN. Prince Harry told the High Court that he bumped into David Sherborne in France around 2018. Harry said, "I didn't go to them. I bumped into Mr. Sherborne in France. It's in my book." So, he met some lawyer who decided to, you've got a good case here, let's do this.
Harry hasn't got the intellect, he hasn't got the legal advice, he hasn't got the ability to actually shape his evidence to argue his own case. And he's been left dangling by the smear merchant David Sherborne, the lawyer, and by all those who are financing him. And in the end, he is going to find himself very, very embarrassed, in my view.
The Duke of Sussex said that before he spoke to lawyers, he had no concerns over any particular articles being the result of unlawful activity. Harry said, "No, I was never shown anything. It was all contained within the palace." He added, regarding his conversations with the lawyers, "I think it was a discussion about how to find a way to stop the abuse and intrusion that was coming against me and my wife, without relying on the institution's lawyers." Wow. So, is he going to turn around and blame his lawyers and say that it was all their idea and they're just trying to make a quick buck off of him? Is that what he's going to turn around and say? Wouldn't surprise me. And you notice how he's invading other people's privacy during this whole thing, when the whole case is supposed to be about protecting his privacy, protecting his wife's privacy. But ultimately, he's allowed to tread all over everyone else's privacy, including his ex, Chelsea, who's minding her own business with her new family, now being dragged into this. And more bad news for Harry. A judge gives US government 1 week to handle request for Prince Harry's visa records. It'll be interesting to see what he put on his application. And I'm glad, that this has been allowed. This is great news. It's about time he's treated like everybody else. Now, again, because he's married to an American citizen, I've been told that it's unlikely that his visa is going to be revoked. And people are saying all sorts of things, that he might not be able to get back to the US when he finishes his court case and things of that nature. That'd be pretty funny, to be honest. But in reality, he has 2 children at home, and a wife. So it would actually be pretty sad if he wasn't able to get back to his family. Yeah, so who knows what could happen. A federal judge has given the Department of Homeland Security until next Tuesday to decide how it will handle a conservative think tank's request for Prince Harry's US immigration records. The Heritage Foundation has asked the US government via the Freedom of Information Act to see his visa application, citing his admission of past recreational drug use in his memoir. The group is questioning whether immigration officials properly granted Prince Harry's application, since admission of past drug use can be grounds to reject a visa application.
This is certainly a curious case, and one which could, depending on how it progresses, result in Prince Harry being kicked out of America. It all centres around what the Duke of Sussex wrote on his US visa form when he applied for the visa allowing him to move here to America in March 2020. In his Netflix series and his book Spare, the Prince admitted to having used cocaine, marijuana and magic mushrooms. Under US law, admission of or evidence of past drug use can be grounds to reject a visa. There are two key questions on a US visa form. First, have you ever been a drug abuser or addict? And second, have you ever violated any law related to controlled substances? So the question at the heart of this court case is, what answers did Harry give? Now, why is it in court at all? Well, because the Prince finds himself being used as the perfect case study in a case trying to prove that the US Department for Homeland Security is acting improperly by granting visas to people who should not be eligible for them. The case is being brought by a conservative US-based think tank, the Heritage Foundation. It's pursuing the US government to find out if it's acting according to procedure when granting visas. Essentially, the Prince is caught up in a bigger battle between a conservative organisation and the Biden administration.
Attorneys for the Heritage Foundation see the case as part of a larger effort to uncover non-compliance with the law by DHS in different areas, including accusations from the Republican lawmakers that the DHS is deliberately refusing to enforce the country's immigration laws and is responsible for the current crisis at the border, court filings read. Well, obviously, we're seeing the border is out of control, and yeah, it's about time we actually applied the law. This is Harry who volunteered this information. Nobody asked for it. Not only did he write about it in his book, he went on TV and basically promoted all sorts of use of psychedelics and things of that nature. So yeah, this is information that Harry has volunteered, and it raises questions about his visa application since we know the rules, and it's about time those rules are applied.
And of course, Harry's got another big problem tonight. It just broke just before you came on air now, that in America, a court has ordered the US government to hand over the visa application that Harry made.
This is in the Heritage Foundation.
And that's brand new now. So that means they're going to see whether Harry said the truth, told the truth, whether he took drugs or not on the form. He might find that he can't get back to America.
So Harry could end up deported if he lied on his application.